Welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news, transfer news, and update show where we're going to be talking about all the latest Manchester United news live today about the manager, Ruben Amorim, about the managers that we are looking at, Glasner, Southgate, Xavi, who wants the job. We've also been linked to Kenan Yildiz. We will talk about reports and leaks coming out the dressing room and training ground, but yeah. Obviously, lots is going on inside Manchester United, and it feels like the inevitable is going to happen. Ruben Amorim is going to be sacked. But the question is for who and when is Ruben Amorim going to be sacked? Because we're going to talk about all the latest news on the future of our manager. Guys, if you do enjoy today's video, feel free to hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new, and let's get into it. Amorim was not happy with the system point being brought up every time. He has no intention to change, and if he wants to, it's because he has the feeling that it is right moment to change. Fabrizio Romano came out and said that every time we lose, Amorim is fed up with people talking about his system. He has no intention to change. So that is basically confirmation that Ruben Amorim will be getting sacked, because if he doesn't change the system, he will be getting sacked. We don't know when, we don't know for who, but Ruben Amorim is done. The fact that Ruben Amorim, every time we lose, is fuming that people are bringing up his system. Your system has got 35 points in 33 Premier League games. Your system is a 15th place system in the Premier League. The players are a disgrace. The players have not been good enough. Not all the blame is on Amorim, but your system is a 15th place system. Ten Hag's system was crap, but he came 8th, 15th. I'd take an 8th place finish this season. How can you not see that your system is a problem when we are coming 15th and we are getting outdone by Brentford, who have a set-piece coach in Keith Andrews, who's managed less than 6 games in his whole career? Brentford, relegation favourites, lost all their best players. And you're saying it's not the system. Stop bringing up my system when we lose. I'm not going to change my system. Well, Ruben Amorim, you are getting sacked. Ruben Amorim will be sacked because he will not change his system that is not working. I don't know when he's going to be sacked. I don't know who he's going to be sacked for, but Ruben Amorim is getting sacked. He's only going to change if he feels it's the right moment to change. Well, the right moment to change was a month ago. The right moment to change is today. Change it. I just don't understand how he thinks he's totally blameless. Don't get me wrong. The players are a disgrace. 1 game a week and the lack of intensity we are playing at is an absolute disgrace. The players are a disgrace. But the manager cannot just blame it all on the players. The players' big problem. I agree. But your system is not working. It's crap. The football you are playing is crap. We are 15th. You benching Euro for Luke Shaw and Maguire in 2025. How is Maguire and Luke Shaw still starting for Manchester United when you've got Lenny Euro? You're not playing Kobbie Mainoo. You're playing Agate, give the ball away, the most unpressed resistant midfielder I've ever seen. I just don't get this guy. And instead of changing his system when we're 3-1 down to Brentford, Mason Mount, come play left wing back. Why are you sticking Mason Mount at left wing back? Why don't you put Mason Mount as a left-sided 10 and go to a back 4? You could go to a back 4 when we're chasing 2 goals, but you won't go to a back 4. You won't change the approach. Instead, you'll make Mason Mount play left wing back. And you wonder why Mason Mount didn't do anything when he came on, because he's not a left wing back. This is what I don't get. It's not even that he goes with the same system every game. It's that when the system is not working and we're so easy to play against and it's so easy for the opposition to play against us, rather than changing the system, he just changes the players in each position, expecting a different result when he's not making any kind of tactical adaptations to the system. So he will be getting sacked. I tell you this now, Ruben Amorim is getting sacked. He's going to probably get sacked in the next couple of months. I don't know who he's getting sacked for. I don't know what day he will be sacked, but he is getting sacked because instead of going to a back 4 and trying something different, he went with the same system, which was so easy for Brentford to play against, and just thought maybe if I put Mason Mount a left wing back, the system will be better. I think the fact that you keep putting different players in the same positions and those different players aren't performing well, says that maybe the system isn't getting the best out of the players. Because we talk about the midfield, whether it's Casemiro and Bruno, whether it's Ugarte and Bruno, whether it's Ugarte and Maino, the midfield isn't working. It doesn't matter who's in the midfield two, the midfield two isn't working. I think you could have Declan Rice, and I think you could have Moises Caicedo in Amorim's midfield too, and I think he'd make them look like bad players because his system does not work. It's the Premier League. We're being overloaded against other sides, going 3v2 against us in midfield. It doesn't matter who you play in the pivot. It doesn't matter who you play at wingback. It doesn't matter who you play at striker. They ain't going to get service. It doesn't matter. You can have all the best players in the world, but your system is fundamentally not working. And people keep saying, but Glasner's system's working. Glasner's system's so different to Amorim. Glasner knows how to use his midfield. Glasner's system is so different to Amorim. It's the same formation, yes, but his system, the way he uses his fullbacks, the way he uses his centre-backs, the way that he uses his midfielders, the way that he plays, the way that he approaches it is so much better. Amorim's approach in the Premier League is crap. Grimsby knew how to play against us. You know the tactics are crap when Grimsby know how to play against us. League 2, Grimsby knew how to outdo Amorim's system because any manager that watches Manchester United play realises the minute you press Manchester United highly, the minute you sort of overload the midfield, and the minute you stop them ball progressing out wide, Man United are crap, they can't get out of their own half and they concede chances. And that's what Grimsby did, and that's what City did, and that's what Brentford did, and that's what Fulham did in the second half, and Burnley did in the second half. And when teams adapt to play like that against us, Ruben Amorim doesn't adapt back to try and think of a solution. He just thinks, oh no, I'm being totally outplayed. Let's sub Euro off and bring Maguire on. That way, maybe I'll score a goal. How can you think when you're 2-0 down to Manchester City that taking Lenny Euro off for Harry Maguire is going to be the goal-scoring solution? You don't have any solutions to your system. There's no tactical solutions. We are 2-0 down, we'll sub off the centre-back. We'll put Mason Mount on the left wing back. No, we're 2-0 down. The system's not working. The system's not crap. Change your bloody system. Go to a back four. Bring this player on. And then let's see what happens. Because your subs are so not impactful. Manchester United's impact from subs has been crap under Ruben Amorim. Our second halves have been crap from Ruben Amorim. In fact, Ruben Amorim has conceded the most first half goals of any Premier League manager since he's come in the door. Graham Potter has been sacked. Graham Potter, when he was appointed by West Ham last season on January 9th, Graham Potter was appointed by West Ham on January 9th last season. From January 9th onwards, West Ham picked up more points than Man United and Graham Potter got sacked. Graham Potter picked up more points than Ruben Amorim when he came in last season and he got sacked before Amorim. And Graham Potter's been spoken about as the worst manager in the world. But he's with West Ham and a much worse side. He still got more points than Ruben Amorim last season. Graham Potter. Where have the standards gone? I hate sacking managers. I hate the fact that the players will live under another manager. But right now, the players and the manager are both a problem. But we can't change the players right now. But we can change the manager. This manager is going to get us relegated. I'm convinced of it. You could spend 500 million on him, and I don't see him finishing higher than 12th. I try to be positive, but I saw that Brentford game. I've seen the City game. I've seen the Grimsby game. I've seen the second half versus Fulham. I've seen his tactical approach in so many games this season. And I just think it doesn't matter how many players we bring in, if he's not going to change the system, and he says he's not going to change the system, what is the point? You bring on Lemens. Yeah, Lemens hasn't even had his debut. Bayindir was crap. Bayindir should have saved that third one against Brentford. Bayindir should have saved that. I mean, we need a right wing back, I agree. But right now, I think sack the manager, go back to find a manager that plays a back four, and then you got Mazraoui. That's I see it. Save you a couple £100 million. You got Mazraoui. I just think right now, give me Semenyo, Baleba, Wharton. Go back to a back four, get a manager that actually knows how to use a midfield, and I think we'd be pretty good next season. If that's what we did. Obviously, JJ is not a Manchester United fan. I just can't back Amorim. I just can't get behind keeping him. Is Stoke City's 4-3-3 the same as Barcelona's 4-3-3? Obviously not. Glasner ball is astronomically different and much more compact and hard to score against. Yeah, people are like, Glasner's system works. It's not the system because Glasner's system is so different. And also, a lot of the back five managers that go to big clubs like Xabi Alonso aren't playing a back five. Xabi Alonso's gone to Real Madrid and completely changed his way of playing to get the best out of Real Madrid. If Xabi Alonso can adapt and go to a back four, why can't Ruben Amorim? Because when you're 2-0 down to Manchester City and your solution is take off Euro and bring on Maguire and still have 5 defenders and a DM on the pitch, and you wonder why we can't score against Man City, I just think it's clueless. It's like, okay, you start in your back five, you start playing this way, cool, because the first half versus Fulham was good, the first half versus Burnley was good. But the minute it's not working, why don't you say, you know what, Dorgu come off for Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, you go at left back, Maguire and De Ligt to the centre backs, Delo's now the right back, Mason Mount's coming on as a third midfielder, and all of a sudden we've got an Nagate, Bruno, Mason Mount midfield three, with Sesko, Cunha and Mbeumo up top. Because right now, it's take Dorgu off and put Mason Mount at left wing back. But if you take Dorgu off and put Mason Mount in the midfield and move Luke Shaw over to left back, all of a sudden, we've got a midfield three. All of a sudden, we're not being overloaded as much in midfield. All of a sudden, we've got more creativity in the midfield. All of a sudden, we might play a bit better, because I also think playing a back five but conceding the amount of goals we're conceding is not exactly helping us defensively, and we know it's not helping us going forward. The players are an idiot, the players are twats, don't get me wrong, but this manager, I just have no faith in him. The Manchester City game, you're 2-0 down, and instead of changing the system, instead of changing the tactical approach, which was so clearly not working, you think, I'm going to bring on Maguire. Like, he's lost his mind. I mean, look, if we bring in Southgate, Ineos have lost their mind. If we bring in Southgate, Ineos have lost their mind. I do not want Southgate, but I think Southgate could fix this mess a lot better than Amorim. I'm telling you this now. England were a mess before Southgate came in, and Southgate's not a good manager, but Southgate stabilised England. He fixed the mess a little bit. I'm telling you this is a fact. If Gareth Southgate took over and managed us to the end of the season, or we stuck with Amorim to the end of the season, Gareth Southgate would finish higher than Ruben Amorim. I do not want Gareth Southgate. I do not want Gareth Southgate anywhere near this Manchester United squad. But Gareth Southgate took over a crap England side and stabilised them. Ruben Amorim can't even stabilise us. Gareth Southgate would be better than Ruben Amorim right now at this point in time. And I do not want Gareth Southgate. And I do not want to go anywhere near Gareth Southgate. But he's clueless. Not a United fan, but the problem is higher up. They shouldn't have appointed Amorim in the first place. I agree. Dan Ashworth said that. Dan Ashworth got sacked because he couldn't get behind the appointment of Amorim, and he was on a different page to everyone else, so they sacked Dan Ashworth. And they were brutal when they sacked Dan Ashworth, but they're not being brutal and sacking Amorim. Do you know why they're not being brutal and sacking Amorim? Because of their egos. Ineos know they effed up. Ineos knew that ignoring Dan Ashworth, who said not to do this and not to do that, everything Dan Ashworth said to Ineos was spot on, and they sacked Dan Ashworth for it. And in their little egos and their fragile egos, they can't admit that they sat Dan Ashworth over this atrocious decision that did not pay off. And they want to hope it pays off so they can justify sacking Dan Ashworth. It's an ego thing. I'm convinced it's an ego thing. Xavi is the reason why Lamine Yamal's the player he is. He gave him the opportunity when he was 15. Most managers wouldn't. I mean, look, you got Shea Lacey, you got JJ Gabriel. You know, if Xavi's going there, it's going to the same, my philosophy, this, that, and he's going to get thrown under the bus. Look, I don't particularly like Xavi. I don't think Xavi's a great manager, but right now, Xavi would be at least knowing how to use a midfield, would make us play a lot better, and at least Xavi would be playing players like Maino and playing players like Yoro. The future of our club, Ruben Amorim ain't even playing. Ruben Amorim has no idea about the future of the club. He's just ruining it. He's going to sell our academy players, buy loads of expensive players to hope his system works. Then he makes those expensive players crap, and then we're in the same mess again. It's just, for me, I'm at the point where right now, like, I do look at a Xavi and say, I'm not against that. I'm not against the Xavi. I don't want him. He's not my first choice. But I'm not against someone like Xavi coming in. I really am not. Because I think he'd be doing a better job. Now, look, let's be honest. Let's talk about everything. Let's talk about the news. I've got a lot to get through. But Ruben Amorim is getting sacked. I'm telling you this now. Ruben Amorim is getting sacked. Because if he says he has no intention to change his system, if we lose to Sunderland, I bet he'll be sacked. If he's got no intention to change, he's getting sacked. I don't know when he's getting sacked. I don't know who he's getting sacked for. But he will get sacked if he does not change his system, and he has no intention to change his system right now. It's a matter of when. It's a matter of when he's sacked. So let's talk about some comments on Ruben Amorim. Wayne Rooney said, "This is not Manchester United. I don't recognise my club. I don't see any fight. I don't see any character. I don't see any desire to win." And I agree. This isn't all on Ruben Amorim. Actually, a lot of it is on the players. And I've said that many times. It's not a case of you sack Amorim and everything's better, but it's also not a case of you bring Amorim 11 new players and everything's better. Both Amorim and the players have to take responsibility. Amorim is blaming everything on the players. His lack of accountability is worrying. I will tell you that now. Both Amorim and the players are a problem. But right now, we can't change the players. But right now, we can change the manager. And when the manager is sucking the life out of this team, when there's leaks coming out that Amorim is broken, and Amorim says sometimes he wants to quit and sometimes he hates his players, for me, you are delaying the inevitable by keeping Amorim in this job where he's lost, he's broken. Amorim doesn't even want to be here anymore. He's made that clear that sometimes he hates the players and sometimes he wants to quit. The fact that you employ someone that doesn't want to be here half of the time is worrying. The fact that you employ someone that says the things that he said in post-match interviews is worrying. I don't know how he's not been sacked. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how he's not been sacked. I just think his post-match interviews, we're seeing no fight from the players, we're seeing no character from the players, we're seeing no desire to win, but also seeing a manager that's given up. He's not going to inspire the players. United is bigger than Amorim. His philosophy is not good enough. If Ruben is still at United, United will be relegated. The players are trying his styles, but it's not working. I agree. I think he needs to go. If we lose to Sunderland, I think he's off. I think if we lose to Sunderland, I think he's gone. Who would you bring in? Iriola's my first choice, but I don't know if he'd want to come. It's just difficult. It's difficult because the thing is, I don't like sacking managers, and I don't like this continuous cycle of sacking managers. But I'm also like, he has to go. It's so bad. But who do we bring in? Like, that is the big question. The players have no fight. The manager's got no tactics. It's both the players and both the manager. I agree. I'm just going to grab a sip of water. Bear with me one sec. Okay. Oh, there we go. Sorry, my throat is absolutely so dry. We can't win games the way Amorim wants to play. Give him the right players to play, and we will see better results. But he hasn't got the midfielder. He hasn't got the players he wants yet. But we've given him better players. We've already given him a new attack. We've given him 3 new attackers, and we're not scoring more goals. We're not. That's a fact. We've given him the attackers he wants. We've given him 3 new attackers, and we're not doing more. We've got 5 Premier League goals this season between our players. 2 from Bruno, I think. No, 1 from Casemiro, 1 from Bruno, 1 from Mbumo. I don't even know who they're from. We've scored 7 goals in the Premier League this season, but 2 of them are own goals. So we have 5 Premier League goals in 6 games between all our players. Ruben Amorim has got half of the new players he wants in, and we're not seeing improvement. So how do I know when he gets all the new players we want in that we'll see improvement? And I feel like he's starting to suck the life out of Cunha. I feel like he's starting to suck the life out of Mbumo. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he's starting to suck the life out of those players. So I'm like, I don't feel like if you give Ruben Amorim a full squad, it's going to work, because we've given him half a squad, and I don't see how he's made us better with what we've given him so far. Ben Jacobs said last season the job was offered to Southgate, but Southgate did not want to jump so fast back into football. I mean, I don't know about that. I think a lot of the Southgate stuff that came out was crap, if I was going to be totally honest. I don't think we'll go for Southgate, but I think he'd do a better job than Amorim right now. Glasner, did Glasner replace Eze Elise 18 undefeated? Look at Glasner going 18 undefeated. Glasner doesn't have all the players for his system, and he's gone 18 undefeated. Just tells you a lot about Ruben Amorim, and I think we make too many excuses for him. Get Carrick in. I mean, I'm not against it as an interim. Amorim's had Dorgu, 3 new attackers in, and Agate was one of his sporting players. He's had enough players come in we should be seeing some level of improvement. I'm not asking Amorim to be brilliant now, but we should see improvement. I agree. Amorim's had enough players in where we should be seeing significant improvement. I'm not asking for the finished product. He's not got all the players he needs, and he needs a midfielder. But he's had enough players in where we should be looking at some significant improvement, and we're not. Alice, let's take it away from Amorim at the moment. Can we talk about how these players are not fit to wear the shirt? I agree. It's not just the manager. The players were a disgrace. 1 game a week, and the lack of intensity and the lack of running they gave us at Brentford. Missing penalties, Maguire stepping up. Maguire was played over Euro because to deal with the long balls of Brentford, and he was atrocious. The players couldn't string 3 passes together. The players had lost their head. It was atrocious from Manchester United. I absolutely agree it was atrocious. And the players are atrocious. It's not just the manager. The players need to step up. The players are missing chances. The players are being wasteful. The players are not winning second balls. You can't blame the manager when the players can't even be bothered to chase down the opposition and win those second balls. I agree with that. You'll never find another manager better than Amorim. Amorim's the best manager Man United ever got. Better than Alex Ferguson at keeping 50 years. So we definitely got a Liverpool fan in the chat here. Alice, who would you bring in? I would bring in Baleba, Wharton, and of course, Semenyo. If I was to bring in 3 signings, I want to see how Lemens does before getting a goalkeeper as the 4th, and I want to see the centre-back situation. But I actually want to talk about what Gary Neville said on Amorim, because I agree with Gary Neville for a change. Ruben Amorim has had a pre-season. He's had a week now in between each game because Manchester United aren't in Europe, yet the performance is as poor as ever. Ruben Amorim first asked for more time training with the team. We've given him more time training with the team, no improvement. Ruben Amorim has 1 game a week now. He has more rest, he has more time with the team, no improvement. He's had a pre-season, no improvement. He's had some players in, no improvement. I'm not asking Ruben Amorim to produce miracles, but I'm asking for progress. I'm asking for something good, and none of that. The results are catastrophic in Manchester United terms. The money that's been spent, some of the big names, it's a massive worry, and some things can't happen. I can't see Amorim turning this around. It's a massive worry. I think he's got to go. Luke Shaw, Maguire, Delo, Bruno is the same culprit to keep throwing the manager under the bus. Well, Bruno's not one to throw the manager under the bus, but he was crap the other day. Yes, Alice is tired, which is annoying. Casemiro out was a big loss the other day. It was, but we're very reliant on Casemiro all of a sudden again, which is worrying. Bear with me a sec, guys. She's back. Sorry, I had to wake myself up there. I have to wake myself up sometimes because I can just fall asleep like that. Overpaid, overrated, average, low IQ players. Some of the passing, some of the just, we can blame Amorim all we want, but some of the passing from the players, some of the decision making, the inability to win second balls, atrocious, absolutely atrocious. Amorim, crap. The players, crap. Both can be true. The players, problem. Amorim, problem. Both can be true. I feel like we have this thing as a fan base of some people just back the manager at all costs and blame it on the players. Some people just blame it all on the manager and don't take responsibility for the players. It's both. They're both crap. That's the fact. Forcing players to play out of position is clueless in the Premier League. Amorim has thrown the squad under the bus. The fact that he brought Mason Mount on for Dorgu, I'm sitting there thinking, wow, last 10 minutes he's going to a back 4, Mason Mount's going in midfield, we're going to a 4-3-3. When he brought Mason Mount on for Dorgu, I thought we were going to a 4-3-3. No, he did the exact same thing against Brentford that hadn't worked for 70 minutes against Brentford, and just thought maybe if Mason Mount plays left wing back instead of Dorgu, it might be better. Like, what in his mind thought that playing Mason Mount at left wing back as the only change in the last 20 minutes was going to make us play so much better? It's not a case of you swap your fullback for Mason Mount and the whole, no. If it's not working, you need to change the tactical approach. It's not just take this player from this player on and that player will make a huge difference. No, we need a tactical approach. We need a tactical adaptation. And Ruben Amorim saying he's not going to change is Ruben Amorim saying, I'm getting sacked. Ruben Amorim is getting sacked. I don't know when. I don't know for who. But Ruben Amorim is getting sacked because he will not change his approach. I don't know if you watched my video last night, but it also was said that Ruben Amorim is described as a lonely man by sources. In training, he often walks away from the team. After losses, he sits on his own and doesn't speak to anyone. One says the job has broken Amorim and he looks a ghost of his former self since joining. Ruben Amorim has not only been bad, but Ruben Amorim, I don't think his head's at Man United. And I think when the manager has lost that passion to win and that passionate love for Manchester United, you might as well part ways with the manager. If Ruben Amorim is broken, if Man United have broken Ruben Amorim, if Ruben Amorim is saying in press conferences sometimes he doesn't want to be here and sometimes he hates his players, Ruben Amorim's mindset is not in the right place to be Man United manager. Ruben Amorim could be sacked for his mindset alone. If you are broken, if you don't speak to anyone, if you are lost, you don't have the mental strength to be Manchester United manager. And he doesn't, because Ruben Amorim, when he first came in, gave some really good post-match interviews and some really insightful post-match interviews. Now, he's talking crap half the time. Amorim has a really poor in-game management. I think he's bad and stubborn. He's very stubborn. Most managers are, though. We're broken as a football club regardless. We're finished. It feels like that. It feels like that. We need new players. We need new manager. We need a new lot of everything. And we've just done that. And we spent a load of money and it's still not worked. It sometimes feels like we are clueless. But Ruben Amorim, man. Oh my God, that's so loud. Ruben Amorim, he's just lost his mind. He's just lost his mind. It just won't change anything. I can't back Ruben Amorim if he's doing the same thing over and over again and it's not working. The same thing over and over again. The same tactics that aren't working, but we'll play Mason Mount at left wing back and that will fix it. He's clueless. Absolutely clueless. It's toxic from top to bottom. New ownership's needed. New hierarchies needed. New board is needed. New goalkeeper, new defenders, new midfielders, new attackers, new manager. Everything new is needed. And the thing we need the most is the Glazers gone and new owners. That's the thing we need more than anything else. But this new, that's needed. Now, there is talk of Xavi. Obviously, let me get this up here. Xavi Hernandez is studying and monitoring the Premier League and would love to join Manchester United immediately, even with European football. Xavi's one to watch. Xavi is one to watch. I was going to talk about the Yildiz news, but I might save that for another video. But Xavi is there looking at Manchester United thinking, I want that job. Southgate links are happening because he's appreciated by Sir Jim. And right now, Xavi wants the job. Apparently, Glasner, Hertzler and Iriola are on the list. But Xavi's interested in that Manchester United job, and he wants that Manchester United job. And I think right now, when Ineos know that Xavi's there and he'll take the job in a heartbeat, Ineos might say, let's sack Ruben Amorim and go for Xavi. Now, for me, personally, I want Ruben Amorim sacked and I want an interim until the end of the season. And we get to the end of the season and we can assess who the best manager is. Because maybe bringing in the manager halfway through the season isn't the best option. But I take Xavi as an interim, not as a permanent manager, because look how much better Flick made Barca. But I'd take Xavi as an interim. I would take him as an interim. Because at least he knows how to use the young players and maybe get the best out of this squad. Because Ruben Amorim can talk about tactics and systems all he wants, but if he can't improve the players he has, maximise his players, and play the players to their best ability, then there's no point being a manager in the Premier League because he's not doing all of the following stuff. At least Xavi Alonso might play our best players in their best position and maximise them. At least that's something Xavi Alonso might do. But listen, people, I could sit here and I could rant all day about Ineos and the Glazers and Amorim, and I'm not going to do that. But right now, we thought Rangnick was bad. Amorim is making Rangnick look good. Amorim is making Southgate not seem that awful. And that tells you everything you need to know. You know, for me, the players are bad, but the manager has failed. And he needs to go. He needs to go. Thank you for watching. I'm just going to see if anyone is live to raid. I don't know if Cass or anyone's live. Cass is going to be... Not Cass. No, he's not live. Saeed might be live. I'm just seeing if anyone is live to redirect to. We can see if we can give anyone a raid. But I'm done with this club. I'm really done. And do you know what the worst part about it is? I think we all feel numb as a fan base. The worst part is when you're feeling numb as a fan base, like not even angry anymore, numb. That is sometimes the worst. This team has made me not even care. I'm used to it. I'm used to feeling like this. I'm used to it. Like, for me, that, huge red flag. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.